Well, hello there, Brandon Bicasso here. Today we're going to be making more progress on this 2020 Sportster 1200. Last time out, we got the front end kind of situated, and now it's time to work on the rear end. The goal today is to get the fender on, the tire, brake caliper, all that stuff torqued down, sissy bar, and the signal lights, because that, you have to take the tire off just to get the rear fender off. So it's a little bit of an involved process, but I already got the tire off, already got the caliper off. We did that in the previous period, so I went ahead and did that. So now all we got to do is jump straight into putting this fender on. We're gonna see what we can get done today. Let's get to it. The first thing I need to do is get this fender just sitting in here loosely. And there's a zip tie right there on the end that I need to zip tie to the main frame. Then I can actually come back and, Jesus. So use the chair. Need to get it bolted, zip tied in. What you can't tell me, you can never tell me that 2 zip ties isn't better than 1. You can't tell me that. You don't know. You don't know. But 2 zip ties is allowing me to tighten this thing up. And so it's not longer dangling, man. Dangling, that's not a word. Dangling. All right. I didn't have to do this, man, but you know how it is. You try to put stuff kind of back to where it was. And at least when the fender drops next time, you can come back. See, now it's hanging. You can come back and try to get this bolt in, which I have to do from the bottom. Yeah, see, that zip tie kind of helps hold it a little bit. So all right, now that we did that, I don't want to go too tight because now I got to get these side brackets on, feed the signal lights through here, and then feed it through this hole, and then set up the whole under part of this. All right, so we got the left bracket with the signal, the wires before. Remember, I heat shrink them, and then I went across them with some electrical tape just to make them look a little nicer. Keep even more moisture out, so we're gonna feed that through like that. Come out through the bottom. Okay. Let's see if we tap on that. Feed this all the way through. And then what I did, I already tightened this up on the back. So what I need to do right now is get one of these in here. This is the, oh Lord, I'm messing up. Scratch that up. No. Goodness, I'm messing up. We're gonna see if we can sit that right there. I'm not seeing the bolt coming through on the other side. Okay, plot twist. There's 2 different spools. This one's for the rear, and this one's for the one near the shock. So, yeah, I was using the wrong one. All right, now this is some Bondo that got on the fender at some point. I'm actually gonna go and clean that off, but not right now. Right now we're just trying to get the fender mounted, everything, so then I can go under the fender and tighten all this stuff up. Woo-wee! That clearance, man, we ain't got much there, but eBay special, baby! It worked. Now this might be a little tricky. Oh, never mind. Easy peasy. There's the hole. Yep, they're lining up. It's gonna lock all into place. And now you're kind of seeing why it just makes sense to take the freaking tire off. The clearance in the room is just so freaking tight. Looking good. Get through the hole. Okay. All right, got that. Then we're gonna fish this one through the bottom as well. And I gotta fish the, where is it? The brake light, the license plate light. Boo! Somehow I pinched this wire. Come on. There we go. Probably scratched a little bit of paint down in there, but it'll be all right. So we got all of our lines here. I'll just zip tie this and put it under the tail somewhere. Go in like that, and then we got license plate. It's gonna go here. Yeah, see, I'll just probably do something like, as long as the wires aren't kinked. Yeah, do something like that. Throw a zip tie on it. Let's test it. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I may take this off to make sure that this is tight, because I did do it on the one on the left. I didn't do that on the right. So I can just kind of slightly pull this off and just, you know, make sure so this doesn't wobble at some point. That's good. Just my luck, it would have came off flopping going down the highway or something weird because I didn't tighten it up. All right, so get these back on. Then I got to go under here and route the cables into little channels. So the spacing is so tight to these, I don't have room to get my socket and ratchet on it, so just have to do it the slow way. But luckily, it's locking against itself. Some us are slow sales, that's better than no sales. To it, I had to learn to walk, been rapping my whole life. I had to learn to talk. If we can't communicate, then we can't build much. If we don't know why it hurts, then we can't heal much. Better days, I work for all mine. Cartier Santos, the greatest of all time. This is tight, baby. Now we're gonna tighten this part down and get this freaking, oh, I gotta do these, I gotta do the wires. One. Let's see. Gotta like pry it to get it in there. When they designed this boy, they made sure these cables ain't going nowhere. Now I just gotta feed the excess through there. Yeah, so that side, we're good. And I ended up breaking the clip on that side. So yeah, I just gotta pull the slack up through the holes and we should be good. That's good. Actually, I don't think I even need to do that. Let's see. All right, yep, we're good. Got the wires zip tied right here. We're good. Got that situated. What I need to do right now is move this brake caliper so I can roll the wheel in. Took a different approach because I was not with that other way of doing it. It irritates me. So, need to bungee cord it somewhere, just slightly out of the way for a brief moment. Let's see. On the jack a little bit. While I'm at it, let's see. There we go. Now we'll just go this in with it. That. Let's see if we get that in there like that. Hopefully this operates. Yep, I think we're gonna be good. I just need to lower it, get the axle in. That belt. Uh-oh, might have lowered the bike too much. So I can't get the belt. Just a little bit. You see, that was messing with it. All right. So got the spacer right here, just lining up. The wheel's cocked a little bit. What happened? So I'm hitting the. There we go. And I just need to cock the wheel. There we go. I need to jack the wheel up, just get this to go through, we're gonna see. I'm gonna go up with this just a little bit. You're gonna see that tire kind of shift. There we go. That should go through. So the tire was basically like at a slight angle, and that's why that axle wasn't going through. All right, we got that done. There's one thing we still gotta do. See the wheel? Still got that play in it. We gotta align the wheel, and that is gonna come into play with those Sharpie marks that I made a long time ago. So I can't tighten the wheel up too much, because once I start tightening this down, it needs to be able to move the wheel or pull it. So I'm actually gonna back off a little bit. So you need that wheel to be able to shift around. Right, so the belt tension and the wheel alignment. So remember when I made that Sharpie mark and then I said 5 turns? I did that because the wheel would have already been aligned and the belt tension should have already been correct. So what I'm gonna do is turn those nuts on each side 5 full revolutions based off of that Sharpie mark, and it should put it exactly where it needs to be. And if I need to make an adjustment then, I'll do that. But that's why I put that Sharpie mark there. You guys can see the belt, super loose. Got an adjustment back here. I'm turning this thing 5 full revolutions. 1, 2, 3, just getting tight. 4, 5. See, that's tight. That deflection actually looks exactly like it's supposed to. Right here, you see that mark? You should see the wheel sort of pull in. So 1, 2, watch the axle. 3, 4, 5. So in theory, this is exactly where the wheel was when we started. So now I'm gonna go ahead and torque this down, and then we're gonna put the caliper back on, and then we'll put this suspension strut on. Just pulling the swing arm in. Okay, everything's moving. I'm gonna lower this wheel on the ground. Get one good, like barely touch the ground, and then we're gonna torque it. Alright. I pulled this up already. As you can see, it says axle rear nuts, 95 to 105 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go with 100 foot-pounds. I like to go right in the center, but hey, y'all like my official garage computer, man. I've had this machine since like 2012. Eventually I'm gonna have this thing mounted to the wall at some point, but yeah, having a shop manual in your garage, so I don't have to keep running around inside the house, it works. 100 foot-pounds. Jesus, there we go. I was like, please click. Imagine snapping something off like that. Oh my goodness. All right, rear end's done, man. Oh, no, it's not. Crap, we ain't got no brakes. Rear brake caliper installation, caliper to mounting bracket rear, 28 to 38 foot-pounds. So I'm probably gonna go to about 33. Easy peasy. All right, this thing, hideous. I decided to not to actually paint that. We're gonna leave that alone, but let's get this back on the bike. I may end up having to jack the bike up to get the suspension to line up like it's supposed to. Oh shoot, wait a minute. Actually, I gotta take this tape off. So I was hoping that I could put this one on the bottom and put this one on the top, but this one, see how these are not the same. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I'm gonna try to shave some of this off and coat it so it doesn't rust again. Because as far as the threads go, it's perfect. I mean, as far as the parts on top to thread it in, or to use to, yeah, to thread it in, it works perfectly fine. Jack the bike up just a smidge. And I might need to go up a little bit more. Talking like barely. Ah! Yep, that did it though. Let me get some torque on that. Shock absorber bolt, 45 to 50 foot-pounds. I'm probably gonna do 47. Awesome. This one at the top. All right. Let's see if they loosen this up. Ooh, she is locked in there. I'll get her out. Also, this bottom nut in the back of this absorber, to shock absorber, to get the tire off. So now I gotta make sure I go back and tighten this up. I'm gonna do the, ow, just pinching my finger. All right, comes off the back. Easy peasy. All right, I had to stop and get me something to eat. Boy, I had to go get him a turkey sandwich with a pickle. Bussin'. Anyway, Patreon. These are my folks over at Patreon. We built a little community inside this big community, and each one of my active patrons, they get a spot on my wall. If you're into that, I'll leave a link down in the description. Let's get the sissy bar on. All right, let's see. Oh, is that right? Yeah. All right. Oh, yay. This is the finishing touch and the bike. Man, I'm so happy. Y'all don't understand, like, I'm happy that, you know, the front end looks better. Obviously it's not perfect, but I'm really freaking proud of this sissy bar. I didn't bother trying to bend this thing back because it looks a little off, but it's not like what it was before as far as like how it looks. I may try to polish some of this out of the clear coat by scuffing it up and polishing it. The seat covers this up. I don't know if I'm gonna mess with it. I am gonna try to get that off, that Bondo. This is where you can kind of tell the difference, or you can clearly tell it actually. This is the new paint, and that's where the paint line, the tape line was, and that's where the old paint is. So, like I said, it's not perfect, man, but compared to what it was, it looks better. That was easy. I'm gonna see if I can clean this up just a little bit. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of grinding that rust down, and then I'm just gonna put some type of protectant on it. But it's making it shiny. So just kind of like trying to buff it out. All right, I think the last thing I'm gonna do for the night is put this side cover back on. I see that right there. And we should be able to just dust it. Okay. call it, man. All right, got a little bit of some light work to do. I need to install the foot controls. We're going with forwards on this bike, and also need to bleed the brakes, and also need to deal with the clutch cable and getting the adjustment right. So I could have finished the handlebars today, the throttle cables, and also the left control cover. The problem is the part numbers that they claim that were in the ad for the part that match what was in Harley's database, the parts still aren't correct. So I went off the part numbers. The ferrules on the throttle cables, they're too large to fit in the control housing on the right side. So basically I got stuff that I can't use. So I had to order that stuff. This time I ordered it direct from Harley. This is the second time I bought control covers that didn't fit, and the throttle cables, you know, I should have matched it. It is what it is. I ordered them, but today we're gonna get this bike pretty much set up to where all we need to do is get that situated and put a gas tank on, and we should be good. Let's get to it. Yeah, these are the 4 controls. eBay special, man. They work. I don't recommend them because they're like hella cheap, but when you're trying to just get something on a bike, these are perfectly adequate. Like I wish this was rubber, but it is what it is. But this is the link to the master cylinder for the right side, and this is the left side. This is the shifter, this is the brake pedal, and this is the part that goes on the spline. So this one's a little bit longer than stock, so I'm more likely gonna have to swap this out. Let's get this mounted. This link on here, screw it on like that. You can lock those together, slots into the back. I'm just gonna sit that in there like that for now. Okay. All right, I think we got it. Got it in there. It clears the exhaust. I still got to deal with this. Let's see. Alright, so I got to deal with that. Alright. Put this in here. Think of this as like a way to prevent this rail from coming out. Might be a little hard to get in here. Gotta be careful because that's rust. There we go. Just have to change the angle. I gotta get the shift link off. And get this off the splines. But luckily I do have a few pieces of new hardware just in case. It's coming off like it's supposed to. No, okay. No Loctite. So this should, yep. All right, those look good. Right, so this is the old piece for the shifter. This is the new piece. Yeah, they look the same, but this one's a little bit longer. So these look pretty much the same. Not exactly, but I'm gonna see if I can go back with this. So I just gotta take this off. I'll put this on here. And we'll try to use as much original stuff as we can. I'll put a little bit of grease on these splines. Okay. Take this. This is the original screw. Don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. It may work, it may not. Good. The fun part. Slide that like that. Pretty. I think the cable goes under. If I remember, yeah, it goes under. And this needs to already be down. So go like that. Okay. I think we're in a good place, folks. I think we are in a good place. So let me just thread that through that first. Okay, I'm a little nervous because eBay special, man. I'm doing 40 foot-pounds. I don't want to snap these things off. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna go with that. I don't trust this hardware. and I don't want to snap something. All right, yeah, I was close on the other one. That's a torque value is nothing but a measurement, and it is a reference on how tight you can go. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that as it is. Good enough. I feel like I'm struggling to get it tight at that point. Good enough. You know what I don't know? I don't know if this is supposed to be like straight down. I may need to come back and adjust this, but as far as how it's actuating, it's doing fine. All right, so I assume that is first. That's second. That's neutral. That's second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. I don't know if this has 6 gears, it might be 5 speed. 5 speed, okay. Fourth. Third. Second. I think that's first. Neutral. And that's neutral. Okay, we're good. Brakes. All right. Brakes work. Deal with this master cylinder. So I got this in the right direction. Yep. Oh, come on. That little tab has to go in this direction. Don't you fight me. Oh dear. Oh, this is fun. Oh, now it's more fun. It's actually going in. This one's gonna be 14 to 18 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go 16. Oh, crap. Hopefully it doesn't move again, because I can't get a good torque reading if it's moving. Let's try that again. It's not the right, it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, we're already torqued, but what's funny is that the 1/2 inch that I was using was not working. It was slipping, so I went down to a 12 metric, and it worked. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That's the original bolt, so whatever. Let's get some brake fluid in. I might need to go make a brake fluid run, because this is all I got left. We're gonna see. But I actually don't think, let's see. All right, so I've got a scrunchie basically here to hold this open. So as I suck the fluid through, it's gonna allow it to basically bleed faster. The only thing about doing it this way, you gotta be careful because you can basically run out of fluid at the top really. Yeah, a little bit more and I think we'll be good. A little spongy right now, but it's definitely, that's me actually applying a good amount of force. One last top off. And I think we are good. Yeah, still no, that's good. Maybe a little spongy, but it's not like coming all the way back here, right? That's that's a generous amount of force, so I'm sure we're good. All right, we ain't got no leaks down here. All right, cool. Let's test it. Removing the jack, gotta be careful. Yeah, it's just rocking. All right, I think that's me on them. Yeah, they're good. This should be pretty easy, I hope. Clutch cable. I never actually fully installed this because I knew this was gonna come back off. So we're gonna take this off, and then this is gonna slide in like this. Then we got this piece that goes through the top like this. I may need to grease that. Actually, you know what? I will, because it's been a little stubborn. Slot that in like that. Boy, this bad boy, hella greasy. Like hella, woo, yep, see, I don't remember it being this. There we go. I might got too much grease down in here, boy. It wasn't supposed to be that much. I think I honestly hit a pocket of grease that was still there. It was like a glob of that gray. So got a little bit more than I wanted, but hey, at least my cable won't dry out. That's all that matters. This goes back on top now. Perfect. Now there's a little C-clip that goes on the bottom. So I'm going to install that, and we should just have to adjust the free play and we're good. I'd be very grateful if I got this on the first try and that this thing didn't shoot across the room and in my face or in the place where I lost it. I think we got it. Booyah, first try, man. Let's go, baby. Putting this back to where it needs to be so we can get the clutch adjusted. The spec is 1/16 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch, but I think we should get this pretty close. Yeah, it could be a little bit tighter, but I think I'll roll with this and we'll see what happens. Tighten this up. This is not the right size, but you know what? We're gonna make it work today. This is a 13 and this is a 15, but the 13 actually does work. Just gonna jam these together. That's all it takes. And what I'll do, spray a little bit of white lithium grease on this. A little bit, that's a lot, huh? Just so this stuff it doesn't rust as easy. And it'll slowly just leak down in there. Pull this back, yep. Oh wow, that went on there way easy. Yeah, I'll get all the excess off. Then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go like this. Exactly where it needs to be. And we're good. Right, so we got the clutch situated. The reason I didn't even touch anything in the primary is because I never took that off when I adjusted the cable to get it off. So I adjusted it the same way I took it off, and that involved not having to go inside of there. But if I took the whole cable out, then I would have had to deal with that. So with that done, the floorboards or foot pegs are done. The rear end is done. The brakes also have good feel. The brakes in the rear work. Yeah, happy with, I guess, everything so far, even though this is still a situation. One more part that I can go ahead and put on while we wait is the seat. All right, let's see what I look like sitting on this thing. Let's see what we're working with, man. Okay. That was interesting. Yeah, that brake pedal feels okay. A little loose. Shifter, I feel like is right where you want it to be. Maybe it needs to be pivoted a little bit more forward, but nah. I mean, eBay special, baby. Like when you put this stuff on, you kind of just take what you can get. But no, I feel upright, okay? But I feel like I'm still a little, this feels longer than I thought it was gonna be. This bike's long. Wheelbase on this thing's pretty long. I didn't, yeah, it just feels good, but I feel like I thought it was gonna be more like this versus more like this, right? Kind of like standard sit. But I guess mids, I think it's probably more like this. But maybe it's because my legs. This thing, man. Cheap. But no, I'm satisfied with this. Actually, let me show you one more thing. Gas tank. Yeah, it looks like it's spitting hot fire right now. Actually, this has to come up. I'm just gonna make this work. Yep. Gas tank. The dent on this side has been repaired, pulled out, and you can see the sanding that they've done. I'm gonna be priming this thing myself. We come on this side where the majority of the damage was. You can see that dent has been removed. Honestly, I'm satisfied with it. After a little bit of research of being able to get aftermarket gas tanks, this was after this tank had already went to the body shop. If I would do it again, I would probably go with an aftermarket solution. Don't have to worry about pulling any dents. Spend about, another 75 to 100 bucks, get another gas tank in with more capacity and paint it and just be done. I waited almost 2 months for this gas tank, and honestly, I spent $150 to have it repaired. So at that point, it almost makes sense to just get a brand new gas tank. It's a lesson learned. The gas tank is here. I'm gonna prime it, put some paint on it, and we'll figure it out. But next time, I think we're gonna be able to get this bike started and do a first ride, and then I'll paint it. But we got the rear end done, we got the clutch cable done, we got the brake lines done. Still got to deal with the stuff on the handlebars because I'm screwing up with as far as buying parts. But either way, we're making some progress, and I think this bike is that much more closer to being complete. So next up, again, we're gonna go for a first ride. We're gonna see how this thing goes, and hopefully I can get a little bit of a better paint experience this time considering what I dealt with before. But good news for you, you don't have to wait to check that out. You can click right here and go to the next episode. But as always, thanks for listening to my story. As always, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.